Welcome to rare breed brotherhood. The strongest men don't speak to be heard. They move in silence to be understood by the few who are meant to. There's something different about you, and you've always felt it. You never followed the typical script. You weren't the loudest guy in the room. You didn't need constant attention. And when the world tried to mold you into someone predictable, you chose a path most people never even noticed. Your own. That's not weakness. That's power most people can't recognize. This isn't about being mysterious for show. It's about protecting the parts of yourself that only a few have earned the right to see. Sigma males are wired differently. You don't owe the world an explanation for your silence, your space, or your standards. Women often try to decode you, thinking you're a puzzle to solve. But you're not a game. You're a boundary. You're the kind of man who knows what peace feels like. So you don't tolerate chaos disguised as love. You love deeply, but you'll leave quickly if it threatens your identity. You don't play emotional games. You see through them. And while others are out proving themselves, you're refining yourself. This is your edge. You've mastered the art of not needing what most people are chasing. The truth is, you're not hiding from women. You're simply not giving away what they haven't earned. And once they realize that, they'll never see you the same again. Not because you changed, but because your value finally became undeniable. Let's dive in deeper, brothers. Number 1, he can love you deeply, but he'll still choose himself. A Sigma male is fully capable of deep, loyal, no-games love. When he cares about someone, he doesn't fake it. He shows up, he listens, he pays attention to details that most overlook. But here's the part that catches most people off guard. Even if he loves you with everything he's got, he will still walk away if being with you means losing himself. See, a lot of people confuse love with sacrifice. They think love means giving up your identity to keep someone else happy, not him. He knows that the moment he has to shrink, pretend, or compromise his core values just to hold on to someone, that love is no longer healthy. It becomes a cage. Let's say he has a goal he's been working on for years. A business, a passion, a lifestyle that gives him peace. If being with you starts pulling him away from that path, if the relationship starts becoming more draining than fulfilling, he won't argue or beg you to understand. He'll simply choose himself. And that's not selfishness. That's self-respect. Most people stay in situations that slowly kill them inside because they're afraid of being alone. A Sigma male is not. He would rather sit in silence with his integrity than be wrapped up in a relationship that feels like emotional warfare. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are or how strong the chemistry is. If you start trying to control him, change him, or make him prove himself over and over, the connection starts to die in his eyes. And the moment he realizes that staying with you would require him to betray himself, it is over. Quietly, firmly, completely. Because for a Sigma male, self-abandonment is a slow death, and no love is worth losing yourself over. Number 2, he doesn't trust love. He studies it like a threat. Most men rush into love with open arms, hoping it saves them, fixes them, or gives them purpose. A Sigma male doesn't move like that. He doesn't chase fairy tales or let feelings blind him. When love shows up, he doesn't fall. He watches, closely, quietly, intentionally. He studies love the way a soldier studies enemy movement. Not because he's cold, but because he's been through too much to let his guard down just because someone smiles or says the right words. He's learned that love can be used as bait. Sweet words can lead to emotional traps. Promises can be broken. And emotional chaos? That's always dressed up as something beautiful at first. This is a man who's been burned before, maybe more than once. He's felt what it's like to give everything and get nothing real in return. So now, love is not a weakness he surrenders to. It's a pattern he examines. He listens for inconsistencies. He watches how you act when no one is watching. He pays attention to how your presence makes him feel. Is it peaceful, or is it pulling him into confusion? A Sigma male doesn't build a life just to have someone come in and shake it apart. He's worked too hard for his peace. So if love threatens that peace, no matter how attractive or intense it seems, he will back away without hesitation. Take a moment and think about this. While others are swept off their feet by compliments and chemistry, he's asking himself deeper questions. Does she respect my solitude? Is her love steady, or does it feel like a roller coaster? Can I grow around her, or will I have to shrink? That's why he's different. He doesn't trust love blindly. He makes love prove itself first. Number 3, he tests in silence. You'll never know you're being evaluated. A Sigma male doesn't ask you who you are. He watches you until you reveal it. And the truth is, most people expose everything about themselves without even realizing it. That's the beauty of his silence. It gives you just enough space to show your real self. He doesn't announce his standards. He doesn't give you a list of what he likes or expects. Instead, he observes. He pays attention to the small things. How you speak about others. How you handle stress. How you treat people who can't do anything for you. These things matter more to him than anything you could say to impress him. He might smile while you talk, nodding along, but make no mistake, he is taking mental notes. If he sees arrogance hidden behind confidence, or hears dishonesty wrapped in charm, he will not argue with you. He won't correct you. He will just start pulling away. Let's say you talk down to a waiter when you think no one's paying attention. That one moment tells him everything. Or maybe you gossip about someone you call a friend. To others, it's normal behavior. To him, it's a warning. And what makes him so hard to fool is that he gives you space to be yourself. He never rushes connection. He never forces anything. This is how he filters people, not by what they show when they are trying to impress, but by what slips out when they think no one's watching. There's no drama when he leaves, no loud exit, no heated argument, just a shift. You wake up one day and realize he's not calling, not texting, not showing up. That's how he ends things, with silence. Because for a Sigma male, once your actions disqualify you, no explanation is needed. His peace means more than any conversation. Number 4, he forgives, but you'll still lose access. A Sigma male doesn't carry grudges. He doesn't walk around bitter or angry, plotting revenge or looking for a moment to get even. He lets it go, not for your sake, but for his own peace. But here's what most people never see coming. Just because he forgives you doesn't mean you still get access to him. Once you cross a certain line with him, lie, betray, disrespect, or play games, he doesn't fight or argue. He simply disconnects, calmly, completely. And what makes it hurt more is how silently it happens. One day he's present, thoughtful, involved. The next it feels like he never existed. No explanation, no emotional breakdown, just distance you cannot close. He doesn't raise his voice, he raises his standards. And if you try to come back, hoping for the same version of him you once knew, you'll realize that version is gone. Not because he's being petty, but because betrayal changes how he sees you. Once trust is broken, the emotional door you used to walk through is permanently locked. You might get a smile, a polite conversation, even a moment of warmth, but you'll never again get the real, raw access you once had. Let's say you apologize, you own up to what you did. He'll nod, he'll say it's okay, and he'll mean it. But the bond, the closeness, that energy you once felt from him, it won't return. Because forgiveness isn't the same as reconnection. He protects his peace like a vault. Once you show him that you can't be trusted with it, he won't hate you. He just won't let you near it again. So yes, he forgives. But you won't ever get the same seat at his table. Because once you've shown him who you are behind the mask, he'll never unsee it. And he'll never let it that close again. Number 5, he can outlove you and still walk away first. A Sigma male doesn't love halfway. When he gives his heart, it's quiet but solid. He may not say all the sweet things out loud, but he shows it in how he listens, how he protects your peace, how he pays attention to details you didn't think he noticed. He gives you a love that's steady, not loud, real, not rushed. But here's what most people miss. Even while loving you with everything he has, he will still walk away if that love begins to clash with his core values. He doesn't leave because he stopped caring. He leaves because staying would mean betraying himself. And to him, that's the ultimate form of self-destruction. You might think silence means he's unsure or conflicted, but that silence is him choosing clarity over chaos. He doesn't do emotional outbursts. He doesn't beg to be seen or understood. When he's done, he's just done. And not out of pride, but out of principle. Let's say you start disrespecting him slowly, talking down to him in front of others, guilt-tripping him into changing who he is, or constantly challenging his boundaries. Most guys might argue, shout, or try to fix it for weeks. A Sigma male watches, waits, gives you space to correct yourself. But once he sees that the pattern is now part of who you are, he will walk. Even if it breaks his heart, even if he wanted it to work. He will choose peace over potential. He knows feelings are temporary, but values are everything. And that's the hardest part to understand about him. He can love you more than you realize, more than he shows. But he will still be the one to end it first. Not because he loved less, but because he loved himself enough not to stay where his soul started to dim. Number 6. He sees behind masks instantly. You might impress the world with your confidence, your charm, your carefully polished image. But a Sigma male is not the world. He sees behind all of it, instantly, without effort. You could be smiling, laughing, owning the room, and he'll still feel what's going on underneath. That's his gift. He's not distracted by the surface. He doesn't just listen to what you say. He listens to what you avoid. He notices the shifts in your tone, the pause before you speak, the way your eyes move when you lie, even if you don't realize you're lying. While others are clapping at your performance, he's sitting quietly, already knowing it's an act. This is why you can't fool a Sigma male with loud behavior or fake confidence. You might post photos that scream happiness, talk like you've got it all figured out, flirt like you're in control. But if you're insecure underneath, if you're hiding fear, emptiness, or loneliness, he feels it. He's not judging. He's just not buying the mask. Let's say you pretend to be independent, constantly saying you don't need anyone, but deep down you crave constant reassurance. He'll know. Or you act like you've healed from your past, but the way you react to small things shows you're still bleeding. He'll catch it. This is why being around a Sigma male can feel unsettling for some. You can't hide. You can't impress him with just energy and presence. He doesn't fall for the version of you that's built for the world. He only responds to the raw, real one. Because while most people are trying to connect with who you pretend to be, a Sigma male is only drawn to who you actually are, even if you haven't met that person yet. Number 7, he never competes. He replaces. A Sigma male doesn't compete for attention. He doesn't beg to be chosen. If you try to trigger his ego by making him jealous, it won't shake him. In fact, it tells him everything he needs to know, that you're not the one. He doesn't do drama. He doesn't chase what disrespects his presence. The moment he feels like he's being used as part of a game, he steps out of it, quietly, smoothly. No argument, no reaction. Just a silent exit that leaves you wondering when exactly he slipped away. You won't hear from him again, not because he's bitter, but because he's done. He doesn't need to win over your attention. He just removes himself from places where he's undervalued. And here's the part that really stings. He doesn't move on to prove a point. He upgrades in silence. You'll never see the new woman. You won't know her name or what she looks like. But you'll feel her presence every time you see how much calmer, clearer, and more at peace he becomes after you're gone. While you were playing chess with his emotions, he was planning his exit. And now that he's out, there's no going back. Because once a Sigma male replaces you, he doesn't compare. He doesn't recycle. He learns, he evolves, and he never turns around. So if you thought pulling away would make him chase, think again. He doesn't compete, he replaces, and he never announces it. His peace becomes the loudest proof you lost him. Number 8, he doesn't share his pain. He uses it as fuel. A Sigma male doesn't bleed in front of people. He doesn't open up just to be heard or comforted. When he's hurting, you won't see a long emotional post, a late-night phone call, or a dramatic breakdown. He goes quiet, not because he's numb, but because he's processing. You'll never know how deep the pain runs, not because it isn't there, but because he doesn't need to perform it. He's not looking for sympathy. He's not trying to be understood. He's trying to survive it and use it. While some people let heartbreak destroy them, he lets it reshape him. He takes the weight, sits with it, and then turns it into power. Pain doesn't make him weaker. It forces him to grow in ways comfort never could. Say someone betrays him. He won't lash out or go on a revenge tour. He'll sit with that betrayal, examine it, and learn everything it came to teach him. Maybe he trusted too fast. Maybe he ignored a gut feeling. Either way, it becomes fuel. You won't hear about it, but you'll see the difference in who he becomes afterward. Next time you see him, he'll be quieter, stronger, more focused. The pain that was supposed to break him has now made him 10 times sharper. That's his secret. He transforms pain in silence. No one sees the work, they only see the results. So when you think he's unaffected, he's not. He's just busy turning everything that hurt him into something that will never hurt him again. That's what makes him so rare. He doesn't sit in pain, he builds from it. And every scar becomes a reminder, not of what broke him, but of how he rebuilt himself without asking anyone to save him. Number 9, he doesn't just date women, he studies them. A Sigma male isn't in it just for chemistry or looks. He's not dating to pass time or fill a void. Every interaction, every conversation, every glance, he's observing quietly, carefully. Not to judge, but to understand who you really are when the spotlight fades. You might think you're just having a casual conversation, but he's listening to more than your words. He's watching how your tone shifts when you talk about your ex. He notices if your eyes light up when you speak about growth, or if they roll when someone brings up accountability. He pays attention to how you treat the person serving your coffee. To him, those small things are loud signals. He's not looking for perfection, he's looking for alignment. Do your actions match your words? Are you emotionally stable, or do you seek chaos when things get too quiet? Are you growing, or just pretending to? That's why shallow doesn't work on him. You can't impress him with status or surface-level talk. He sees through pretense instantly. While others might be distracted by your appearance or charm, he's already 10 steps ahead, asking himself the real questions. Can I trust her with my silence? Can she handle peace, or does she crave attention more than connection? And he decides quickly. If what he sees doesn't feel right, he won't argue or explain. He'll simply detach, not with anger, but with clarity, because he's not dating to be entertained. He's studying to see if you're someone he can build with, grow with, evolve with. So if a Sigma male is interested in you, understand this. He already saw something in you that made him pause. But if he walks away, don't assume it was random. He just looked a little deeper than most and saw who you were becoming. Number 10, he's immune to emotional ultimatums. A Sigma male doesn't flinch when emotions run high. Tears, raised voices, dramatic exits. They don't pull him in, they push him away. While others might panic, apologize, or fold under pressure, he just watches, calmly, quietly. And that silence is not confusion, it's clarity. He's not cold. He understands emotions. He just refuses to be controlled by them, especially when they're weaponized. If you cry to guilt him, threaten to leave so he'll chase you, or throw tantrums to get your way, he won't respond the way you expect. He won't argue. He won't beg. He won't even defend himself. What he will do is start mentally checking out. To a Sigma male, those emotional outbursts aren't signs of passion. They're signs of manipulation. And he doesn't stay where games are played. You could be crying, yelling, or slamming doors, but the more dramatic the scene becomes, the faster he starts mapping his exit. Let's say you give him an ultimatum. Do this, or I'm gone. To most men, that's pressure. To him, that's freedom. You've just made his decision easier. He's not emotionally reactive, and he's not afraid of being alone. So your attempt to control him only reminds him that peace matters more than pleasing anyone. You might think you're getting through to him by being intense or unpredictable, but he's seen this before. He's been through the highs and lows. He's learned that real love doesn't need force, it flows, it respects boundaries. So when you try to shake him emotionally, hoping he'll bend, he simply backs away. Not because he's heartless, but because peace, self-respect, and emotional maturity are non-negotiable. And no amount of tears or threats can make him forget that. Number 11, he builds emotional escape routes early. Most people dive headfirst into connection. They plan the next date, dream about the future, and pour their emotions in without hesitation. But a Sigma male doesn't operate like that. While others are busy falling, he's already preparing a quiet way out, just in case. It's not that he's cold or afraid to love, he just doesn't romanticize uncertainty. He's lived enough life to know that people change, intentions shift, and what feels good today can become toxic tomorrow. So, while he may show up, care deeply, and even invest in the moment, he's always got a mental door half open, an emotional exit that allows him to walk away with his peace intact if things go sideways. This doesn't mean he's emotionally unavailable. It means he's emotionally prepared. If you lie, betray his trust, start manipulating, or try to chip away at his freedom, don't expect a big scene. Don't expect begging or long speeches. Just know he already has a plan for how to disappear from your life without losing himself in the process. Let's say you try to test him with silence or indirect games. He won't panic. While you're waiting for a reaction, he's already 2 steps into detachment. You won't even realize when the connection started fading, because he keeps it quiet and smooth. This is why he never puts all his soul in one place. Not because he can't love fully, but because he refuses to make someone else the foundation of his stability. He builds emotional insurance, not to avoid love, but to survive its collapse if it turns destructive. He's not being guarded, he's being smart, because he knows peace isn't something you beg for, it's something you protect, even from love. In conclusion, you don't need to raise your voice when your presence already speaks the truth. Being a Sigma male is not about mystery or rebellion. It's about self-mastery. It's about knowing who you are so clearly that you no longer need to prove it. You move differently because you think differently. You love differently because you value your peace more than temporary affection. And you connect differently because you don't need people. You choose them carefully. The world often misunderstands men like you. They'll say you're distant, hard to read, maybe even cold. But the truth is, your depth makes shallow people uncomfortable. You've seen enough to know that words lie and actions can be rehearsed. That's why you rely on silence, observation, and instinct. You don't just react, you evaluate. And that makes you powerful. You're not hiding who you are, you're protecting it. Not everyone deserves access to the real you, and the older you get, the clearer that truth becomes. To the Sigma males watching this, keep choosing your peace over pressure. Keep walking away when something doesn't feel right. Keep trusting your intuition, even when it doesn't make sense to others. You weren't meant to blend in. You were built to move outside the noise, to lead without followers, and to love without losing yourself. Never forget this. Your silence carries more weight than most people's noise. Your calm presence in a loud world is a statement in itself. And the secrets you keep aren't walls, they're shields. Not to hide your heart, but to guard your power. Stay grounded, stay sharp, stay true. Because once the world finally understands the kind of man you are, they'll realize they never knew you at all. Stay sharp, stay grounded, stay you. Thank you for watching.